I'm Genevieve Bargello.
And I'm Eileen Wurst.
And this is CFB News. Most people are aware already, but in case you're unaware, the Jim Parsons animatronic was stolen by a man in a diver suit named Barnacle Crispin in the middle of the Crispy Leaf Harvest Fest. He kidnapped him while Jim Parsons was sitting in a red metal wagon and kidnapped him while jumping on the back to ride away into the part of the woods where the thing in the woods of which we do not speak is located. Eileen and I attempted to give chase to the metal-suited man, but were unfortunately apprehended by a corn maze. Eileen's younger sister, Kathleen Wurst, did spend her time to make sure I got out of the maze safely, and then later came back for Genevieve, which is me, and then later came back for Eileen. While we were unable to follow Barnacle Crispin into the woods, he did leave large footprints due to the heavy weight of the suit he wears. The Clatfartburg local government has been working on creating a search party to go into the woods and relocate the Jim Parsons animatronic. Eileen Wurst is on the scene now.
Thank you, Genevieve. Bazinga. That's what we're hoping to hear as we search and canvass these woods. Now, in 2 hours from now...
He has a homing button where he says Bazinga so you can find her in case you lose her.
2 hours from now, in City Hall, we expect that the law will be appealed that will allow us to finally speak about the thing we cannot speak of in the woods, thanks to our new mayor, Tori Cobbleton. Until then, I am only able to describe certain things, as I will say this is the farthest into the woods I have gotten to be. Things I can report on: there are sticks growing out of the ground. There are leaves on the ground as well. It's hard to run in the forest. I have fallen 3 times. Now, what some of the line workers here are trying to do to lure back the Jim Parsons animatronic, we've left a couch with his favorite seat open. And sometimes, somebody offers to go sit in the seat. I've currently offered up my sister, because if something bad happens to her, it'll be a shame. But she did make her choice. But we have all survived, and this is a very pressing matter, and I hope to be able to tell you in 2 hours' time, maybe a bit more. But for now, we just wait with patience and hope.
Bring him home. This has been CFB.
CFB
News. Over the years, many people have had experiences with the thing in the woods of which we don't speak. These are their stories. In the mid-70s, a young woman encountered a large group of blonde children who sang repetitive songs. In the late 80s, 3 teenagers encountered a group of strange beasts crawling through large piles of debris. In the early 90s, a man saw what appeared to be a man who laughed himself to death, and a monstrous plan with a large mouth. In the late 90s, a woman saw an intimidating man covered in blood and holding a sharp blade. In the mid-2000s, a young man reported seeing a beautiful angel burst through a brick wall and the Pioneer animatronic come to life. 5 years ago, 2 individuals reported seeing a man with a donkey's head. And over the years, many individuals have reported encountering a locked building with mysterious music playing from the inside. This is The Thing in the Woods.
The thing in the woods, 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 the thing we do not speak of, but it is in the woods, the thing we do not speak of, but it's in the woods, but now we will speak about the thing in the woods.
So yeah, Jim Parsons' animatronic being captured has made the government cut all the red tape because they need to bring him home.
They need to bring him home. And hey, if you're new, what a wild episode to chop on. Chop on and hop on.
Yeah. You know, the newscasts were originally supposed to be a way to kind of like help people catch up to the story in case they forgot. And now they've just become their own plot developments a little bit.
Yes. I would say it would be helpful for you to have listened to the previous episode. You can kind of fake your way through it, but I think you'll be happier if you do that. So throwing that out there.
Yes.
My name's Elaine.
My name's Felicia. And this is Now Entering Clatfartburg, a comedy world-building podcast where we work together to build the fictional town of Clatfartburg.
It's time to, it's in the words of our mayor, Tori Cobbleton, it's about time.
It's time.
We're going to go through the journey of where did the Jim Parsons animatronic go? How do we get to the thing in the woods? And then we will be discussing what is the thing in the woods. We will
because
reveal it.
we, for the record, decided what the thing in the woods is, I believe, during the mayoral election episode.
Yes.
It was cut, but we did discover it on air together, but you won't be able to hear it, you know?
Yeah. But now
we can blow this wide open.
Where we left off, right? As we said, Barnacle Crispin has stolen the Jim Parsons animatronic.
Yeah, so he stole him mostly to get the red wagon. But let's be clear,
Yes.
he understands there's a use for this for him, you know? Because he has been known to return to the woods many times. This is a known thing that Barnacle Crispin seems to have some sort of residency or lair within the woods. Like, that's where he comes from. You know what I mean?
Which is a quick reminder to everybody, he does the ghost tours in town, and he wears a very old-fashioned submarine suit.
But he's like 27.
No one knows what he looks like, but except for his torso.
Yes.
Ripped.
Because he does pole dancing on TikTok.
Yeah. So just have that image in your head.
Just remember that. He's
Just
ripped
remember
as
that.
fuck. But he goes and steals it so we can, like, crest over this hill. But as soon as he gets into the woods, think of this like you're watching a movie. He seems to, like, know the path really well, and he knows where he's going right away. And he seems to encounter this locked building that we've been told about. You know what I mean? That people have encountered over time. But here's the thing. Barnacle Crispin has a fucking key.
What?
He has a key to the building.
That's crazy.
So he unlocks it, goes inside with the wagon.
And then the door closed behind him.
And that'll muffle all of Jim Parsons' cries of Bazinga and whatever classic lines
what
he
other
has
things he
from the Netflix film Boys in the Band. The classic words of classic low bass line from a man or a Muppet.
Wow. So I think something that would be amusing is if this thing in the woods has never actually been that far deep in the woods. Like,
Yes.
it kind of is, but it really isn't like, wow, you had to, like, go hiking to get here.
No, and there is a relatively easy access to it, but not from the direction of Clatfartburg.
Yes. Yeah. So if we're our little search line,
Yes.
if we're trying to find them, and this is the journey of us finding this building, I imagine, you know, with this law, there's probably been a fence or something put around on our side, the side we're entering from. But I don't imagine anything's actually been too big. I feel like the power of rumor really stopped people from doing too much. But obviously there was that time delay waiting for the law to be appealed, but it's appealed now, and people are stepping bravely through. The journey getting to the thing in the woods, it's not uphill. Clearly it's downhill.
Yeah, it is downhill. It's pretty steep, guys. It's pretty fucking steep. So this is why. It's like that part in The Giver, you know? You know when they go on the little sled down the hill? Just picture that with a Barnacle Crispin. Now,
all the examples of
someone going down a hill, that's the one I picked. I don't know. I've just always been such a Jonas Dies truther that I've stand by that very clearly for years. I genuinely thought that was how you're supposed to take the ending of the book, and then it became a debate in college.
Wow.
My bad.
We will circle back to this personally because I have a lot of thoughts.
Barnacle Crispin does not die at the end of the hill, for the record.
No one actually has ever died.
To be fair, he's riding with the baby on the sled. It's not that different from Barnacle Crispin riding with Jim Parsons in a red wagon. It's like pretty similar.
And there's so many metaphors you can read to it as well. Like, it's really beautiful.
New life.
Yeah.
The spreading of knowledge. Oh my God, it's just like The Giver.
It's really...
We're letting the information be free to the world, just like in The Giver.
It's like, and we're also getting like some free speech back. We can finally talk more about this. It's hard. People are still scared. Somebody still gets a little slap on the wrist and they go, no, the law was appealed. And then that actually turns into a really big lawsuit that goes on for like 3 months.
A lawsuit over slap on the hand is crazy.
I mean...
A litigious community.
It's a slap on the wrist or a slap in the face. And people prefer the slap in the face, you know, if you're going to... But we don't...
I don't know if I would.
They don't love violence. I wouldn't.
But you're saying they would.
They might.
Some might.
Well, the idea is that you're supposed to do a gentle slap. It's like a gentle
is this
little
part of the law?
Yes, and now it's repealed, so we don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
It's gone. Yay. You have to gently slap anybody who talks about it. You go, no. Don't do
Don't do that. Oh
don't
my gosh.
talk about it. Don't talk about it. Now we have to do the mind eraser.
Is that part of the law as well, that they have to do that?
They have to do the mind eraser. Yes.
Which is going, for like 10 seconds?
Yeah. Yeah. It can be any note. It's
so
fine.
you have to slap them like the way my cat does when someone's eating eggs.
Yes.
And then
that's what it says, actually.
Say,
example.
Mind eraser. That's the most insane shit about Clatfartburg so far. That's genuinely deranged.
And it's one of those
nuts.
It's just, I think that we can kind of think of this law the way that there are just some weird fucking laws that are still like what is it, like one of the middle states, like it's illegal to do whaling, but like where would you and how, you know? Or there's like where things are, it's illegal to have an ice cream sundae
it's like
on
that
a Sunday.
book I had that was like, it's illegal to bounce a pickle on the street in Wisconsin.
Yes.
And it's like, okay,
exactly.
Sure,
so this is one of those that just like accidentally hung around for a bit. So I would like to make it clear people probably don't do that anymore, but man, you're talking about 50 years ago. The street is filled with
the sound of the mind eraser. That's how you know you've entered Clatfartburg. The mind eraser.
The mind eraser makes it giving it a full name as such. Just bring it extra level.
You did it.
I did. Okay. That's my bad. But okay, anyway, so but that's all done. We don't have to deal with that anymore. So we're clomping through the woods.
Yeah.
Climpity clomp. Who do we I know we've got this like lineup. I think it's important to know who are the people who are going to first actually interact with the thing in the woods.
Oh my goodness. Should we do my randomizer, which I just made?
Randomizer, because I want it to be volunteers. I don't want it to be anyone official. Like,
now here's the thing.
So
I remember we like pitched it. It's like, and we'll have a randomizer. We've literally never needed to use it, but this feels like
this feels like finally the time.
And I know this isn't full. Like not everyone in this is fully filled out because I'm working on it because I fell behind a little bit. But let's see. And I know some of these are animals, so that's gonna work. Okay. Dale Iron Alexander has volunteered, of course. Dale and Cole are both there because they've been on top of this because they think maybe this has something to do with the mystery. Okay, Delanoir cannot go. That would be a problem.
that would be quite.
That would be.
She's
quite
been
the
here
issue.
amongst us the whole time. Nancy Pankin
God.
rips off her face.
Oh
it was me, Delanoir.
Do not say it.
That is
Don't
not.
even
That
say
is
it.
not
That's
what I
canon.
promise you guys. Nancy Pankin is Nancy Pankin.
Okay, I got the
Absolutely.
blacksmith. That makes sense. He would volunteer to me.
Yeah.
He seems like someone who's an upstanding citizen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get like two more. Eileen Wurst.
Okay. She's not doing a good job, but
She probably is there. I'm here
quotes.
for the news. You know, she wants to. Yeah.
I am here with the news.
Okay, and then I just had the group of the Trout Scouts. So maybe 3 to 5 Trout Scouts are also there.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That makes a lot of sense because they're like, we can use our scouting ability. And then I did just get Sinaster as the next one on the randomizer, and I don't think Sinaster the ghost horse is accompanying the group.
No. Now, are people afraid they might see Sinaster out here? Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, Victoria Tori Coppleton is there. That's our squad.
Oh, Tori Coppleton is out there. She has put on overalls. That's crazy for her.
She bought new boots from REI for this.
Yeah, she's bushwhacking. She is like, and again, this is not like a thick wood, so it's not necessary, but she's like going out of her way to go through the like rough part. She's like, we are gonna figure this out. Let's go.
I went back to my characters page, and it's really funny how some sticking started happening because I was like, who the fuck is Arthur Remington?
Oh,
who the fuck is that?
Who the fuck is Arthur Remington?
He teaches the environmental science course Clay and Claymation, which is essentially a cover to have his students work on his 10-year-long claymation project, Coyote Ridge Falls. How could we have forgotten?
How could we forgot about Coyote Ridge Falls? Because the main character's name, I'm pretty sure, is like Archie or something. It's basically...
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So that's our squad. Don't ask us again in 10 minutes who the squad was. We'll have a rough idea of it.
I'm happy to let Dale and Cole have their moment here if they're the ones that come across it. They see everyone's going to the right and they're like, actually I think it's to the left, but let's not alert everybody because we have our own ulterior motive. As a quick baby recap,
Time-wise, this is around like 2 p.m. on a Saturday, just so everybody knows.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, that's exactly the time.
It's chilly enough to need a coat.
Chilly enough to need a coat.
Harvest Fest. But it's not like raining or anything.
And it's not nighttime, you know, it's a normal, yeah.
So, yeah. It smells pretty good. Allergies low. Bless.
It's a lovely season.
It's a really lovely season. Might still need lotion though. Your hands can be drying out.
Your hands get a little dry.
But yeah, as a quick extra little recap, this won't have too much to deal with it, but the whole reason Dale and Cole have gotten together to like go figure out everything is because Della Noir is an artist who mysteriously disappeared, but they believe that she's left clues to have a fortune, and she's related to
Dale
Bartholomew Alexander, who Arkansas, who's the big thief. So anyway, Dale Iron Alexander is related to Della Noir. And he's on this journey with Cole to go figure out where the fuck is Della Noir. And so Barnacle Crispin somehow... They've been trying to find history. Anyway, this has intrigued them. So that's how they've gotten roped into being very curious about this as well. Yeah. But this is also now just separately like, what the fuck is going on? So that's the quick background there. So they are little boys. Papa, they're adults, but are little boys.
I think they're like 18, 19 at this point.
They're my gay Hardy Boys. That's how I view them.
They're the gay Hardy Boys.
They're the gay Hardy Boys because they're in love.
You said they're my gay Hardy Boys. Like everyone has their own, which I really liked. Like they're my personal gay Hardy Boys. You can have your own,
Tag
but
yours.
They're mine. Who's your gay Hardy Boys?
Okay, so Dale and Cole are hopping along, and they come across this building, as you've described. They see the door.
It's kind of like it almost looks like a big old barn that got like converted or something.
Ooh,
they're very much expecting a building that's been run down, but they approach it and they're like, hold on, this is like somebody swept the front steps a few days ago. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody's here. And is that scarier? And when they hear things coming from the outside,
Yeah, and normally, my question here on layout too.
Yeah.
I imagine they've seen this building. They've seen where, like, the door, they don't know Barnacle went through this door, but it can be, assumed they saw this door. But I imagine, is there a bunch of, like, shrubbery and stuff that's, like, blocking their view of the front part of this building as well? Like, is there, like, a block of some sort? I feel like it's not
maybe
like...
that would make this make more sense, I think. If there is some sort of... To view... So they can't really see the front of the building, but they see, like, a back door. Do you know what
Douglas
I mean?
fir.
And perhaps they are the first people to consider what happens if we walk around the Douglas fir.
Yes, they are the first people to think about it. Because maybe they go try that door and it doesn't open.
And there is like a little, like on the door into the building on the side, you can see a little window. So like maybe that's where people have been having their reports, is that area. Do you know what I mean? Because that would make sense. But they are the first people in, I would say, around 60 years. Hold on. How long? Since 1970. So, and around 55 years to go around these Douglas firs.
Over half a century.
Over half a century, and they are the first. And that's why they're the gay Hardy Boys.
That's why they're the gay Hardy Boys. Because honestly, I bet that, there's only been a handful of reports, right? There are very few people who have gotten even this far to the building. So they're terrified also. Look, it's daylight, but like... We're in the woods, okay? And there's like there's like a little drainage pipe out there. It's kind of like, this is creepy, but yeah, there's the Douglas firs.
There's a Kia Sportage in the parking lot, but that doesn't mean it can't be scary,
Well, that's the thing. They poke around and they see a parking lot. Why is there a parking lot in the middle of the woods?
Yeah, it's a little suspicious. That's suspicious. Why do so many people need to be at this building?
And also, if it's illegal, why do they have paints? Why is this a nice, formal
And why in the parking lot so fucking full? Why are there so many cars? There's not just one or two.
I'm seeing a Chevy. I'm seeing a Ford F-150.
I'm seeing multiple Toyotas. I'm seeing overflow parking on the grass.
Yeah. And you know what's weird? Normal people. Not a lot of people actually are walking right now. They're not walking right now.
There's actually nobody in the parking lot. So they're like, oh my God, did everybody get fucking abducted? But the cars are in nice shape. So it's not like the cars they're not abandoned. These are 2022 models,
Right. And so Dale and Cole, They're popping around. They're looking at these. They're trying to like look in the cars and see if they can gather anything about it. They haven't turned around to look at the front of the building yet. We've been distracted by the parking lot. We're not there yet, guys. It's a lot to take in, okay? Again, no one's gone beyond the Douglas firs.
This is, put yourself in their shoes. These gay Hardy boys are so fucking
gay Hardy boys. Nobody knows they went this way either because they're idiots. And like any amateur detective, you have to do something really dumb.
Yeah.
And not tell people where you're going. Because again, look, you and I know Barnacle Crispin isn't going to like kill anybody. But he has that vibe. Okay.
No,
and I would be like,
scared. Yes. You should remember. And remember, Cole Papageno is the one who has seen him walk underwater the most time. So he's probably the most scared of Barnacle Crispin because he spent the most time with him. You know what I mean?
And Dale went on the last tour. So he gets a little flavor of the vibe. He hasn't been there for all of them, obviously. So I think they're checking in people's cars to see if they get any clues. Like, who are these people that are coming here? I think they find a nice, someone's left a nice scarf in one. They're
very ominous.
Interesting. I think in another one, they found, well, I don't know. Did they have to pay for parking?
There's one of those, there's a Finnish Starbucks cup in there. And that gives them a moment because they're like, Starbucks, that's out of town.
That's crazy.
And then they turn to their left and they see, hold on. Because they're like, how did all these cars get here into this parking lot? We're in the middle of the woods. They turn to their left. There's a road.
And it's like, it's got lampposts on it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is a built road to get to this location. Yeah. It's
paved.
nice.
Yeah.
You know? There's a little fountain on the side.
Yeah. And now it's like, okay. So people can somehow get here. But it's illegal to be here until 2 hours ago it was.
Right.
So these people
why the fuck is everybody here? Yeah.
Yeah. And so things are not fully adding up. So I think this might be when they do turn around.
Yes.
And they look at the front of this building.
Yeah.
I don't really know if they see too much. Really.
I don't think so either. I think it's a nondescript front. It's quite tall. There's a little like compartment at the front that looks almost like a cage for like a person. They're like, oh my God, what happened there? Like, do they keep somebody there? That's crazy. Yeah. But they realize one of the doors are propped open, you know? Mm-hmm. You just walk inside. So they do. They walk inside.
It's dark. But then they see one light in the distance.
Yes.
And they see the creepiest thing you can possibly find in the dark, right? An empty chair. A completely empty chair. Okay, that's like ghost level shit, right? There's a light and there's an empty chair. Okay. And like they're just frozen in fear.
And the most terrifying thing happens next. Barnacle Crispin, or who they think must be Barnacle Crispin, walks out. Because if anybody, I think Cole Papageno has kind of an idea of what Barnacle Crispin looks like.
He'd know that walk anywhere.
He'd know that walk, you know?
Yeah.
Even if the suit is off, the walk stays, you know? You don't wear a metal diving suit all the time without repercussions, okay?
Yeah.
And he sees unsuited Barnacle Crispin walk out towards that empty chair. And suddenly, a song begins to play.
There's a grief that can't be spoken. There's a pain goes on and on. Empty chairs at empty tables. Now my friends are dead and gone.
Cole and Dale look at each other. Cole had a history of being a little bit of a theater kid. He was in the Alien Club for like 2 weeks, but we retconned that and he's not anymore, and he changed his mind, but it was his cringe period. And he was. But he did know Les Mis. And those gay Hardy boys.
These gays are eating it up. They know.
They know what's going on.
And that's when other things start to finally fall into place, right? We're picking up on details like how there's a bunch of people sitting in front of
in seats. And why maybe people could be coming here. And why there was a large stack of leaflets in the front lobby. Those weren't leaflets, they were programs.
Wow. And that weird human cage? That's the ticket booth.
That's the ticket booth. The blonde children, Sound of Music. The strange beast crawling through debris. Cats. Little Shop of Horrors. Was the man who laughed himself to death in the monstrous large mouth. Sweeney Todd. Angels in America. Midsummer's Night Dream. And a locked building with mysterious music playing in sky. They pick up one of the programs. Dale turns to Cole. All this time, the thing in the woods was the Faxville Repertory Playhouse?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Kiss me! No.
And then they kiss. And it's beautiful.
And the whole crowd stands up and applauds. Now
they turn around, they're like, oh, gays in a theater! Gays in a theater! Oh my god! Barnacle Crispin is just killing it also. It's...
And yeah,
and then,
Barnacle...
and then this is when, okay, so during this, if you've never seen Les Mis, on stage during this point, when Marius, who's singing right now, is talking about all his dead friends, when that crescendo happens, all of the dead friends walk creepily behind him. It's a huge line of everybody.
The dead friends?
Who's there?
The Jim Parsons fucking animatronic.
He has that ghostly appeal to him, you know.
They found him.
So, the thing in the woods, indeed.
Is the Faxville Repertory Players. And we cracked this during the mayoral election. I just got the vision that it's a repertory playhouse, and I got so excited. And we spent a lot of time coming up with things that could potentially be the repertory playhouse. And probably the most, we need to discuss a thing that happened between us during this point that we had to cut from the recording.
Yes.
But it was genuinely absurd. So one of the clues that Elaine gave, which is that it was a repertory playhouse, was that Victoria Torrey Cobbleton's grandfather did an order for the Thing in the Woods, of which we do not speak, or Thing in the Woods, which was Tit W, for a large grandfather clock. I paused later and I said, now, Elaine, that large grandfather clock should be for their production of The Importance of Being Earnest. And Elaine said that's exactly what I was thinking.
That had been my vision.
Which had been her vision, which is crazy because that is not... A grandfather clock does not feature in the pick order.
Yeah, it is not plot-wise important. It's just when you see it, it seems it's there. But I wouldn't say it's like, oh, we all turn now to the grandfather clock. It's not a thing.
The famous grandfather clock of The Importance of Being Earnest.
But the fact that we both felt
that's what it was.
That was our podcast synergy.
It really was.
That honestly was some Wonka Watch shit. When that happened, that was a level we haven't had in a while. I mean, honestly, it's up there with us almost saying thinking Jim Parsons should be on all the reading posters at the same time. Sometimes we just know something. Yes,
and we have to be true to it.
What was it, Timothy Chalamet is a turkey sandwich or something?
That one, yeah. Okay, the other one. This is our official ranking. Number 1 is Importance. No, okay. Number 1 is Dune Turkey because Dune Turkey is crazy. Okay, number 3 is when we both thought the reading poster for Celebrity should all be Jim Parsons.
Yes.
Jim Parsons. Number 2 is Importance of Being Earnest, grandfather clock. Number 1 is when we did a commentary track for Dune about a year ago on our Buy Me a Coffee. Clatfartburg.com if you want to check that out.
Hey.
And for some reason, at the exact same second, we both said, this bitch needs to eat some turkey. Not the exact words. I think he needs a turkey sandwich, and you said this bitch looks like he needs turkey.
Yeah.
And we said it at the same time. For the record, was not Thanksgiving.
No.
It was it was a month later. It was it wasn't like Thanksgiving week, and it was the exact same moment we said it. And that is truly...
And I don't think he was doing anything that would have
No, he just looks malnourished.
Warranted.
And I think commenting on his malnourishment would be fine, but it's the fact that we both specifically went for he needs turkey.
That would be fucking hilarious to me.
He looks dehydrated.
Someone give this boy a turkey sandwich.
To gnaw on.
Did we just both say turkey?
Whoa.
What the fuck?
We both said turkey. We diagnosed Timothy Chalamet as being turkey deficient. Bitch, you're deficient in turkey.
Which, if Barnacle Crispin is from the Repertory Theater, that's why he can't show his face. It all makes sense, and that's why they all come in, and it's like a different world in there. And the grandfather clock was for a production of The Importance of Being Earnest.
There's a creepy... I literally was thinking that. It was for The Importance of Being Earnest. I'm so glad you clocked that.
That is insane. That is insane. We are
that makes me so happy. I literally was going...
bizarre that we were like, and yes, the grandfather clock is of course for The Importance of Being Earnest.
That's crazy, and I'm so glad you got that, because
It's like the same thing with the Reed and the Sheldon Cooper. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
How have we done that twice now? We're both like, yes, grandfather clock, obviously important to be.
They don't. I mean, they don't even really interact with it, right? It's just like it's like a set piece,
it's in
right?
the play. It's not
like
in the
not.
play.
It's just that.
That's just a look into our brains.
That's a look into what happens with the gods of Clatfartburg. So yeah, when the grandfather clock thing really sealed the deal, we were like, yes, this is it. So obviously, this explains a lot because Faxville, evil, according to Clatfartburg. They don't love
and
him.
we want to be clear, this is not a footloose situation. Theater is very allowed in Clatfartburg. We will get to the Clatfartburg Community Theater.
Yes, no
But
worries.
I think there is beef between Clatfartburg and Faxville. And that's just how it is, you know?
That's just how it is. And they don't, why go to another town to see Les Mis when you can wait a year and
there was
see
a
it
big
here,
thing where
keep your culture
Faxville
here.
wanted to put a road off that road going into Clatfartburg from the theater, and they were like, actually, because of our zoning laws, we can't really do that. Sorry,
which is why it wasn't too hard to get there, because they did originally maybe get rid of some of the brush in the way, but then time has passed, so you can't do it.
And Barnacle Crispin has been treading it down quite recently.
Yes. Now, Barnacle Crispin, this does... It's not the main point of this episode, but I do think we do have to answer some questions now about his background and
Barnacle Crispin used to work for Cirque du Soleil. That's it.
Done.
That's it. That explains how he can walk underwater. He was an underwater bitch. Now he's over here, and he
lives right on the edge of Clatfartburg, where he gets his groceries in Faxville sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
and
he's right
there.
there,
He is part of the repertoire at the Repertoire Theater. You know,
which is hard, and he's had to keep it secret because. That's why he wears the submarine suit all the time, is so people in Clatfartburg only know him as that. But then when he goes to his Faxville side, he can be another version of himself, his true self, his fake self. Who's to say? But no one knows what he looks like. Again,
unless you go to the Repertoire Theater, and then it's like, oh, he's a 28-year-old. That's wild, you know?
Yeah. And I imagine, and we'll probably be able to dive into that more whenever we do the Clatfartburg Theater specifically, but I imagine there's beef of if you couldn't get into one troupe, but you could get into the other.
Right. And I do think the Faxville Repertoire Theater is better, unfortunately. I think they do have slightly higher quality performers. I think Clatfartburg has a lot of small town charm, and I think they do some interesting things. Maybe they're a really, really, really good community theater, but they're not professional. And Faxville Repertoire is professional, you know.
Yes. Now, remind me, Repertoire Theater, that's you have the same cast.
Yes, so they have a group of people on retainer, you know.
On retainer.
So it's the same cast. So Barnacle Crispin has a permanent job at this theater. And for the record, the production they are doing is Les Mis, but in the future, and it's talking about AI.
So Les Mis
Ayables.
Javert is actually ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Jean Valjean can be Silicon Valley.
Jean.Valjean.
Jean.Valjean. Jean.Club. It's really... Cosette is Cussette, to harken back to older technology. Marrying it with Marius, who is actually Siri.
There's a whole book in the program.
There's a lot.
Because not much is actually changed about the actual production because of licensing rights.
Yes.
But it's a lot about the staging, and it's very minimal, but also very over the top.
The Jim Parsons animatronic was perfect for this discussion of AI.
Yeah.
And it's like a speech, this is a statement as well about AI and its effects on art,
Right.
How would it affect Les Mis, It's going over okay. The production's great. The AI part, people are like, it's weird for you to talk about AI, but you're still wearing that 1830s French outfit.
Really ignore it. That's the thing. Honestly, the actual performance is basically just a normal production of Les Mis. There's just a lot of shit in the program.
Yes.
To get you thinking.
There's an essay in there. And then they're okay, now just watch Les Mis.
It's literally the same, except they're wearing name tags with tech products on them.
Yeah.
So don't worry. It's not their best. It's not their best production, Yeah.
Because can you imagine empty chairs and empty tables, but they're empty chairs, but the chairs are office chairs with wheels on the bottom? Doesn't hit the same.
No, it doesn't.
So
they wanted this to function still as a good production of normal Les Mis, and then have that for the art people,
Yeah. So yeah, so obviously it would be hard to get word out to the Clatfartburgians that this is happening. I'm sure people might have like heard or seen a flyer if they're like going to the Tanger outlets, if they've decided to make a trek from Clatfartburg to go to a chain store of some sort. But I mean, you're not going to keep that in mind. And also it takes a lot, you know, you support community with community theater, but if you don't really have a lot of connection and you don't know anything about it, you're probably not going to drive the extra 30 minutes to go see what it's about.
Yeah, because you have to drive around. You can't drive through the woods. It's even though it is, I mean, Newsmike Distillery is on the edge of Clatfartburg, so it's already a little far. And you have to drive around. So it's like an extra 25 minutes, even though if you went like off-road in it, you'd be there in 5, you know?
Yeah. Maybe they're excited about this because now they can make a direct access road potentially so that they can directly get the theater people to go up their hill and get their drinks.
Honestly, yeah. Just get
That's
these
probably been
fuckers out of here.
They've been like slowly. What if they've secretly known what's in the woods, but it's been like a family secret? Like you can't tell anybody.
Who?
The Smythes.
Oh, the Smythes.
The
yeah.
Smythes.
Yeah.
You know?
The Smythes,
yeah.
well, they would have to know, you know?
It's like their backyard, and surely like somebody's like stumbled out that like teenagers exist. They have no fucks to give. They'll break the law at night and go see what's in the woods. I do want to talk about the people who have survived the thing in the woods, and when they came back, they shared those stories. Had some of them never experienced theater? Because I do think that would be funny.
Yeah,
maybe the
so I think one
Clatfartburg
of the
theater
things
is newer.
I was implying is maybe there's a window that they can only see through the window, and it's like a side view of the stage that's an emergency exit, and maybe they can't see the audience fully, so they just see snapshots and they're like, what the fuck is going on? Or they're seeing rehearsals through this window in the stage like side door, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe,
Creepy as
but
fuck.
I think maybe Clatfartburg, I don't think is doing a lot of the big hits, or they're doing their own swings on them, you know?
Yes.
Like Clatfartburg would do the AI Les Mis, except actually change everything and then not ask for permission and ask for forgiveness by the rights holders. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Clatfartburg,
They
when
would go so far to be like, actually, we made this more of our own, and we think you owe us money.
when they performed Music Man, it was utterly unrecognizable from
They made him a DJ.
production. They made him a DJ, number one.
Yeah.
Marion was an Uber driver.
It was crazy. So yeah, and I think the Clatfartburg Theater has definitely been around for a while, but I don't think it's been around as long as the Thing in the Woods, aka the Faxville Repertory Theater. I think they've had a little longer
because that's been around
standing.
since the late 60s. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I just thought of a scandal. Do you think
scandal?
Marc Rouge is a sponsor in the program?
Oh my God, yes, they are. Please,
They're
you're telling me
absolutely
they
a
wouldn't have
fucking
immediately been
sponsor.
like, oh, we need to find the better theater. Oh, and here it is. This is the better theater. Okay.
And I think what I think is really funny is I think there is a group of people who genuinely go to the Faxville Repertory Theater regularly, and they don't know it's the Thing in the Woods.
No, because you're
you
not
have
going on the
no
other
reason.
side.
You're coming from the other side. Nobody really looks at the map and they're like, oh, well, it must not be in that exact spot. And there's like it's not like there's a label that's like, this is the Thing in the Woods of which we cannot speak. It's just like, you have to decide what you think the Thing in the Woods is. So there is a large community that has always thought the Thing in this wood is this like fucked up tree stump, you know?
Yeah.
That just looks a little gnarly. And everyone's like, was that it? Was that the Thing in the Woods?
No, there's an
old
Sasquatch
pair
thing?
of underwear over a log, and they're like, is that the Thing in the Woods? Like, there's a group of community that does not understand what the Thing in the Woods is, you know. Or there's a lot of people, I think the reason why no one has really cracked this is the Thing in the Woods, because most people have a lot of people have stumbled upon the theater, goes, well, it can't be that's clearly just a building.
Exactly. And it's not like super, like obviously the back of a building, you're not going to like
It is
make
not
sure
illegal
it's painted,
to say,
you know.
I went to the Faxville Repertory Theater. It is only illegal to say the Faxville Repertory Theater is the Thing in the Woods of which we do not speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's illegal to enter the thing we do not speak of in the woods via the woods, but they can't stop you if you're in Faxville going down the road.
Yeah. If you enter it
not that
legally.
anyone would be able to talk about it. So we haven't had to deal with legal fallout really because no one, like you said, knew that they were doing it, and then
Yeah, no one knew they were going to the
ambiguous.
Thing in the Woods. They didn't know.
Yeah,
know?
and you can talk about it. So what are we supposed to do? Now, I imagine when this first was happening, I mean, if we're talking late 60s, you don't have the internet. You can hide newspapers. It's fine.
Right.
It was maybe there was a main connecting road that wasn't there yet, so it really was a big fucking haul to get to Faxville, so it really wouldn't have been like a lot of like interaction. But then probably I mean, imagine they had to ask like city planners for
You know what?
zoning.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
like
got a
it's right on the edge.
celebrity to come in, and that's what made the law go in.
Oh shit!
Like they brought in a celebrity outside person for a one-time show or like a season at the Foxville Repertory Players, and Clatfartburg was like, we cannot stand for this outside. And this is probably, I think Clatfartburg was likely not established as the tourist center of the region at this point.
They got Alan Alda. Damn.
They got Alan Alda.
They got
You're
Alan
so
Alda.
right, it was Alan Alda, and he was in a production of Our Town, as I've been saying.
There you go.
Alan Alda as the narrator in Our Town, or whatever that fucking character is, the one that Jim Parsons recently played on Broadway, that I read a review of in Vulture for some reason, even though I've never seen it.
Jim Parsons is a part of our life, whether we want him to be or not. I think is really what's happening.
I didn't even know he was in it. And I was reading it. I was like, oh, he's here? Well, good
He's
for him,
everywhere.
I guess. Glad you're booked and busy, man. So, I think Alan Alda's production of Our Town, that felt like a real like grab for the tourism industry and of Faxville, because at this point, you know, Faxville was not the brand epicenter that it is today, you know.
Yeah.
And I think this was during the times where there was a discussion of should we connect by road this area, and this was the final straw for Clatfartburg being like, no. In fact, you'll become the thing in the woods of which we do not speak, the way you have sold out to Alan Alda. And we love Alan Alda. But we don't like the way you're using him as a pawn.
No. And again, like you said, if there's a connecting road, everyone's going to leave Clatfartburg to go over there and not stay and spend their money and do things in Clatfartburg. And there goes the culture. Exactly. You might as well fucking shoot Crispy, you know?
They're like, we do not want to merge, you know?
Yeah.
We understand. It is good for us to be separate locations.
Yes. So, yeah. So that puts that away. And then they basically make it, I mean, it's the late 60s. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world. So people are pretty ready to be like, oh, there's something out there. Don't do it. Okay.
Right.
Okay. That's fair. Wow. And to have like that dirty little secret go on for so long.
I know.
And be here.
Okay. So do we want to talk about how does the rest of this discovery go? Because I can't imagine, like, I think despite Cole and Dale's public display of affection, and maybe this was their first kiss. I don't know if they've actually, like, had their romance yet. I think this was their first kiss.
Yeah.
And maybe instead of doing, no, I think it's funnier that they do it in front of the crowd. Is it funnier if they do it in front of the crowd or run into the bathroom?
I think in front of the crowd is solid.
Yeah.
And then they might.
So how does the, like, I can't imagine the other group of people, like the blacksmith, the Trout Scots, Victoria, Tori Cobbleton, and that group. I can't imagine Tori is going to be normal about this, finding it.
No.
Like, she's shutting down this fucking show.
Her grandfather made a set piece.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
And you know what? She walks in. Here's what happens. They go off to the left, and the blacksmith's like, hey, you guys seen Cole and Dale? And
whoa.
I'm sorry. I know you have a lot of strong opinions about your blacksmith. I know it was dangerous before I said it. How would you like him to sound, Elaine?
Give him that, like, Skyrim gruffness.
Hey, guys. Have you guys seen Cole? I can't do a men's, like, gruff
You do
voice.
you. It's okay. We all know it's an interpretation.
Hey, guys. Have you guys seen Cole and Dale? Where'd they go? I'm fucking with you, man. Do the voice that you want him to have. You're gonna be so fucking uppity about it. He's not my animus and my desires. He's just a blacksmith character I invented.
I like the plumber version you had of him. The one where he talks like this.
All right, guys. Let's go get Cole and Dale. Remember, he's Glooby. Glooby.
His Glooby's in there, you know?
The Glooby must come out. The Glooby never stays fully asleep.
Look, and Glooby's a theater kid. Glooby doesn't know it's a theater kid, but come on. One cannot have Glooby and not have
not
ties.
be a little bit of a theater kid.
Not really.
So, goes, hey guys, where's Cole and Dale? So they go kind of retrace their steps and try to find where they went. And Cole and Dale, what have they done to leave a trail behind them? In any way, how can they track them?
Oh, I was like, a charm off of one of their bracelets.
The gay Hardy Boys have so many bracelets.
6-year-old woman with her Pandora charm bracelets. And they've lost one of them. Okay, I think a mini bottle. Because Cole Papageno was ready to be a little bartender at any point. He has a little satchel, right, or something. So they find a mini bottle.
Yeah, because
little
Cole was
tequila.
getting drunk off his fucking ass looking around.
I mean, it was Harvest Fest.
It's
We're
Harvest
going
Fest.
Crazy. It's Harvest
Girl,
Fest.
I have that green apple absinthe in a
yes.
bottle.
And that's when Cole was like, Dale, don't drink that. I got us. Because I'm cool.
I've got something better.
I've got something better. So they find that. The blacksmith, he sniffs it like a little hound dog.
Yeah.
Like, this way. Fresh. Hey.
But there's some gay Hardy Boys.
I'm getting some gay Hardy Boys. It's this way.
So he sniffs him out like a fucking hound dog because I guess he can do that. And they find themselves at the theater and they go across a similar discussion of looking at all the different things. Remember, there's also 4 to 5 8-year-olds here, 8 to 10-year-olds. There. They're walking around and they're like, I hope we get a badge for this.
Yeah.
Located gay Hardy Boys and Jim Parsons badge.
Yeah. Discovered
So-
theater badge.
You know, and there's a few tracks that's like, oh no, they've gotten kidnapped too. Barnacle Crispin got him. You know what I mean? Because like they're like Barnacle Crispin is like now becoming, he's kind of elevating himself accidentally to a Sinister status. Do you know what I mean? Of like kind of mythical. That like I wouldn't be surprised if Barnacle Crispin's ghost tour stops after this. I actually think it's going to be over after.
I
this
think
season.
it's over for him.
I think it's
at that
over for him,
point.
but I think he is a legend that will live on, and a lot of people are going to dress up as him for Halloween.
Yes.
you know?
And he still has his TikTok where he wears the helmet and pole dances.
Yeah.
So it's still got that. I like the idea that Eileen Wurst, as we know, does her best in the worst way.
Oh, that's right. Eileen Wurst is there. So I have a quick question real quick.
Yeah.
When does the barricade happen and how long is it on stage?
The barricade is on for a hot second. This is the second act. This
Perfect.
would have happened.
Is it post after Empty Chairs and Empty Tables?
There is actually a final song where everybody comes out and sings again, so it could technically be out there.
Okay,
Its main bit
just
is before them, but it can still be out there.
Okay, because
that's fine.
I think Tori should lose her sit when she sees her grandfather's grandfather clock
She
on the
recognizes
barricade.
So basically,
So we'll
Tori
get there.
called-
I want to cut this and have that be the next reveal.
Okay.
Yeah.
this will perfectly time because Eileen, I think, will spend, instead of walking around the building, she is going to pick the lock on this back door and she's going to get inside. It takes forever, but she does get in there. Right when she gets in there is when everybody else shows up and they do the easy thing, go around. Okay, so she's stumbling in the backstage around.
Ends
Okay.
up on.
She ends up on stage. Someone's like, "Oh, go! It's your turn." Like, where's your costume? They throw her in a costume, and they're like, "Go!" And I like the idea that she's just supposed to play a dead body.
I
And
love that.
she's just,
I
like,
love that so
laying-
much.
and she's like,
And they walk in and they see on stage, because she enters in before anybody else because they push her out, they see Eileen Wurst dead on the floor in a new outfit, and they're like, oh my god, what the fuck happened in the 5 minutes since we were on? And then this large object starts getting rolled in. This is like an hour later for the record. Gets rolled in from offside the stage, and there's all this different furniture and shit stacked up. This shit's crazy. And Victoria Tori Cobbleton is like, oh my god, is that my grandfather's classic and iconic grandfather clock design? This must have been this very same clock made for Tit W.
"Tit W."
And she goes, what would she say? You're her, you know.
I'm debating, would she ruin the show?
That's what I'm saying. Or would she feel so... Would this be a magical and spiritual moment for her, seeing her grandfather's clock in a place of such pride? Or
You know
still
what?
being
Yeah.
used after all these years? Because many people have gotten rid of their analog clocks. And while
Yes.
it's not in the way she would wish, it is still being used and cherished.
I think that she dramatically walks down the aisle. An usher tries to help her, and she just gently shoves him away. She moves someone out of their front row seat. They shift over. It's fine. It's weird. She just sits down, and she just stares at that clock for the rest
She
of the
actually
show.
has, like, a healing moment.
She really does. Because, I mean, she doesn't love Faxville. Nobody loves Faxville. But she just wanted to talk about the thing in the woods. She just wanted to know what it was. And to have it built up for so many years to be seen as this thing that's just so evil. Maybe it's dangerous. Maybe it's bad. But now what she's seeing is theater. And she's never seen theater. And even though she's catching the end of the show, she has no idea what the fuck is going on. She didn't know people sang in little shows like this.
Yeah.
But there's something beautiful about it. And she's looking at that grandfather's clock. She's getting chills. That sounds like her grandfather's voice. This is a devastating part of the musical, I might add.
I believe it. I believe it.
Absolutely devastating.
And then she turns to her left and she's like, why are Cole and Dale making out in the back row? What's going on over there?
To put this in perspective, too, this is when the main character is dying and he's seeing a woman that he helped long ago who died who's going, you can come with me. It's okay. Go to the light. But his daughter is right next to him going,
Spoilers for Les Mis, guys!
Spoilers for Les Mis. Everybody dies. Everybody dies, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's a really touching moment. And then, I think it's healing for her.
I
think she's still mad about the birds. Like, we're still going to have rage there. But I think that it's like, okay, like, I finally know. Like, this thing that has haunted me, that's the connection. That's pretty cool. And then, Cole and Dale are just making out. Having a great time.
Making out as he dies and bleeds out on stage.
The Trout Scouts are bored. And I think they're ready to get picked up and go home. Now, I do think that Dale and Cole, before they leave, they're going to grab a flyer.
Yeah.
At the bill. Oh my God. The playbill. Jesus. They're going to grab the playbill.
Hold on.
And they're going to grab a little LaMarque Rouge thing. Because we need evidence. Because, like, we're Team Nancy, and they know Nancy's going to eat that shit up. They know Nancy's going to be so mad.
I got a crazy idea. Okay, you can veto me on this. They're flipping through the program. Because number one, they were very impressed. And Cole Papageno was like, I need to read Barnacle Crispin's fucking bio, because what is this guy's deal? Do you know what I mean? They're flipping through. And then they look at the back and they see set designer. This name looks familiar. Who's Lena Riode? Who is Lena Riode? Isn't that like the many anagrammed names that constantly reappear throughout your family? Yes, it is, fellow gay Hardy boy. I think it's time we dive into it.
We found another lead.
Yet another lead, fellow.
Another lead.
That's perfect. That's what I was going to have happen. They were going to walk down a hallway and they're going to see this black and white photo, like a big troop. And they're going to go.
I like that.
Lena Riode. Yeah. The second you said that this was a theater, I was like, Delanoir. She's had her fucking little grubby hands on that. Yeah. So we have one step closer and we have photographs, which we kind of had before, but...
I mean, he did know Delanoir at some point. I think he's met her, you know?
Yeah. Well...
We don't know. We have never really dived into it. You know what I mean?
But, yeah, there's your little snippet of Delanoir. We have another path.
Another wrinkle. Another
wrinkle
twist.
in time. And that is the thing in the woods we do not speak of, but now we do.
Yeah.
Now, wrapping it up, what happens to the Jim Parsons animatronic? Are we able to safely get it back? Do we release him into the wild to live his best life?
I think maybe they weren't. I think maybe the Faxville people weren't aware of the whole, like, Jim Parsons animatronic thing, or they just don't care that much. Like, I don't think the theater people... I think they're... Here's the thing, like, I think maybe this lets them finally open the doors to... Maybe they were aware of the Jim Parsons animatronic, and they've actually really wanted to tap into the Clatfartburg Public Library resources, but because none of them are Clatfartburg citizens, they can't really do it, nor do they want to pay the out-of-town fees, do you know what I mean, which are a little more expensive. And it's only available for, like, a tri-county area as well, but, like, they don't want to draw too much attention to themselves in Clatfartburg because of the whole history, so they're like, well, maybe now we can actually do that. So I think the Jim Parsons animatronic is going to be returned to the Clatfartburg Library.
Yeah.
But, you know, while they put out a professional statement, like, while we don't agree with Todd Bingleby's decision, because that's his legal name, I'm not drawn to that for Barnacle Crispin's legal name.
Unfortunately, I think Tom Binglesby.
Tom Bingleby is his legal name. We do not agree with Todd Bingley's decision to kidnap the Jim Parsons animatronic. However, we are happy with the way it has brought new attention to our town and allowed us to mend this rift. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe in order to really, maybe this is the start of something, a bit of a collaboration between Clatfartburg and the Faxville Repertory Playhouse.
This could be a first step.
Maybe
it's a long journey. But
finally put on one of Clatfartburg's classic musicals, because Clatfartburg does a lot of original musicals.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe they finally put on a classic that's done every few years.
Wow.
And that shows we have respect for you now and we understand what it is. And maybe they'll put in a new road with a bike path as requested by
yes,
Miss Parsnip.
Miss Parsnip. I would love for them once they open that road. Maybe they do the Clatfartburg play. Maybe they do a middle one in between first before they want to make sure people come there and want to stay there.
Yeah.
I want it to be Newsies, and I want at the ribbon cutting for this road. And it's all the little boys in their Newsy caps going, "Open the gates and seize the day. Don't be afraid." And it's just this beautiful moment. And we all love Newsies.
We all love Newsies.
But everyone out of context
should go on the commentary track list. Let me just put that on while I'm thinking about it.
God, Christian Bale not knowing it was a musical, but then getting thrust into it. It's so fucking crazy. Wow. Yes. Yeah. Wow. My heart is so full. I have loved The Thing in the Woods for a very long time, and
I feel like
I'm just
that was
so glad
a really heartwarming episode and really helped us. I feel like we've wrapped up another little a chapter of episodes of Clatfartburg. Do you know
it
what
really
I mean?
does. Yeah. I know Cole and Dale have more to learn, but I feel like they had their kiss. They had support finally in a theater. They're my little gay Hardy Boys. There are gay little Hardy Boys.
Are we a little stereotypical? Yes, we know, but it's fine.
No. It's fine.
I'm gay. It's fine.
She's gay. It's fine.
Yeah. But no, I'm very happy for them, and I'm happy for everyone we've created. I'm enjoying this very much. I'm very happy we finally got to dip our toes into theater. And,
I feel like I got to eat a nice little warm oatmeal cookie.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's
season. How I feel. I feel like I need to go put on my slipper socks.
As you should.
I'm already wearing sweatpants and my lounge jacket, so I'm basically there. But yeah, no, this felt very healing.
Meanwhile, I fully am dressed to rake leaves.
You could go fly an airplane right now. I feel like
I've got big headphones and a boy's large polo. I'm here for business.
You could do the thing where they're like, "Hey there, dame. You want to go to Cuba for lunch?"
I'm wearing a Guinness shirt, despite the fact I don't drink.
I love it.
A woman of multitudes. A woman of multitudes I am.
Yes, mystery.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Now Entering Clatfartburg. If you want more content, you can go over to clatfartburg.com. We have a bunch of bonus content we release there for our little membership page. If you join, we'll give you a shout out. All those jazz. We also love getting headcanons from you. I don't think we have any to read out this week, but if you want to send one in for us to read out, you can go to clatfartburg@gmail.com and send us your little headcanon, preferably a paragraph or less. But if you're really inspired, we will take it. You know what I mean?
we may have to shorten it for the podcast, but know that we love it.
But yes. With that all being said,
thanks for visiting.
Thank you for visiting.
And do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men? We are the people who will not live in this island once again.
I don't like that. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, it summoned my dog. Okay.